Down and Out in Dumaguete. That's the title of this video. We're going to be talking to a couple of gentlemen here. One who has had some horrible luck on his way coming out here, and one gentleman who stepped in and saved the day. All right, that's what's going to be coming up here in the video. Okay, like I said in the introduction, I am here today with two fine gentlemen. In the blue shirt, we have Lowell.
Hello.
And in the green shirt, we have our new friend, Shelby. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing very well.
Shelby, how are you?
I'm doing better.
You're doing better. Well, Shelby, you've had a rough go of it. You came into Dumaguete, I think about 4 days ago, something like that?
Sunday.
Sunday? Okay. And today is Friday, I believe?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, so it's been 4 days. And what happened to you on the way over here, Shelby?
Well, I was buying a throwaway ticket so I could get on the plane there in Seattle to Manila. And somehow during all that, I managed to lose my wallet.
You lost your wallet. Okay, so that was in Seattle. But you had your throwaway ticket and you had your regular plane ticket. So did you board the plane? Did you know that you had lost your wallet? Oh my goodness.
I didn't know it until just before we landed in Manila.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So all that stuff is gone. You got here to Dumaguete. You must have had some cash on you, I'm assuming.
No, but thanks to the security people there at the airport, we figured out a way to get me to the hotel. So.
Okay. So the security people helped you. Did you actually arrive here penniless without 1 peso?
Yep.
Zero money.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Horrible, but interesting. And so what did you do?
I started worrying.
Yeah. Did you just sit outside the hotel? Did the hotel understand and allow you in? Or
I'd already booked and paid for the reservation at the hotel.
okay. So you booked and paid for the hotel already. So you weren't on the streets.
No.
You were in the room, but you had no cash and you had no access to your cash because you had planned to use your debit card as an ATM
Yeah.
for the ATM, and no debit card, no money. Also, one thing that you did not do is you did not set up a backup plan like a money transfer, like Zoom or Wise or Remitly. So let that be a lesson to those listening.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a plan B. I'm not knocking you, Shelby. I'm just...
I know I was stupid.
Well, no, you're not stupid at all, Shelby. You're not at all. You're just a man that came over here to retire. You ran into some bad circumstances, and it can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
The reason I like to bring that up is I think it's imperative that when we show these videos to the people watching, they'll understand the importance of having access to your money. And there should always be at least one backup plan. Okay, so that's my lecture for this video.
I told him, and now I know why some people have chains connected to their wallet and hooked into their belt loop.
Not a bad idea.
So it doesn't get lost.
Not a bad idea. For what it's worth, I have zippers on my shorts. You know, the pants that zip and all that, and the flap goes over just for security reasons. And there's probably not a day goes by when I leave the house that I don't pat my pocket 4 times an hour to see if I've got my phone and if I've got my wallet. Because if I left it somewhere and I got to lose it myself.
And airports can be a busy place. We holding one thing and we got to do something else. And we put this down and pick this up, and we don't have everything.
Yeah.
Apparently the throwaway ticket was an afterthought. And for those that don't understand what a throwaway ticket is a temporary ticket that you purchase when you come to the Philippines, and it shows that you're going to exit the Philippines within 30 days. And you're not going to exit, you're simply going to extend your visa. However, you must show that going in. It's just one of those anomalies, and we throw those tickets away. You can buy it cheap. You can buy a cheap one-way ticket out, or you can use, what's it called? There's a service, and for some reason it slipped my mind. Anyway, Lo, how did you get involved with Shelby?
I'm at the same hotel he is at.
Okay.
And one morning I came downstairs and the staff's called me over and said, "Can you help this man, this gentleman? He lost his wallet." So I went over and talked to Shelby and sat down and found out everything that was going on. And I've been helping him in any way I can. Getting him some extra meals at the hotel, buying him crispy chicken from the street, which is open 24 hours. And I paid for a week of his stay at the hotel, and I'll pay for another one.
And you're one of the, what we like to call one of the good expats here in sleepy little Dumaguete. Sometimes Dumaguete gets kicked like an old dog sometimes for having too many expats and this and that. And we can't have too many expats like you, Lowell.
Well,
so
thank you.
I appreciate your generosity and your humanity.
So he's getting 3 meals a day. He's getting water and some chicken in the evening to carry him over. And
good deal. Now, I originally came out here today to meet with you because being a liaison with the embassy, I had talked to our mutual friend Goldfinger, and he had mentioned that Shelby was in this predicament. And I was under the impression I was going to be contacting the embassy on his behalf and that perhaps he wanted to go back home. But when I came out here, I found that that's not the case.
we've contacted Remitly, and so his that's in the 5 to 6 day process of being handled.
Okay.
Actually, it was, it first looked like it was going to go through, and then all of a sudden I got a notice saying that they had suspended the account.
Did they tell you why they suspended the account?
No.
I have a sneaking suspicion that for some reason you don't have a phone. Is that correct?
Well, I've got a phone, but we're still trying to figure out how to load the app.
Okay. All right.
We got the smart SIM card in it. We just have to choose the plan and get it loaded. And so we'll get that done this evening. He'll have phone service this evening.
Well, I'll go out on a limb and I'll take a guess that the reason it was denied is because they wanted to follow up with a verification text, and that couldn't go through because there was no phone. So this poor gentleman is stuck here without a phone. He has one now. That's been taken care of. And I was thinking we were going to be contacting the embassy, but it turns out that what we're doing with Shelby here, and we're just collectively doing this, is we're kind of floating him along until he has access to his money. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's the dealio. He has an online bank, contacted the bank, and the bank would not give you any money.
Yeah, they said they cannot transfer internationally. So.
They can't transfer international, only domestic. Okay. But did they agree to send you a new ATM card?
Yes.
And where are they sending that to?
My traveling mailbox post office, address.
Gotcha. So one thing that you did correctly is you set up a mail forwarding service. Another thing that is a huge component when moving over here, unless you have friends, family, relatives, kids, whatever, that can get your mail, you always need to maintain a U.S. address for all these entities like banks, Social Security, Medicare, etc. So you did that, and then they said it would take how long for that card to be sent to traveling mailbox?
Around 5 days.
5 days. So you were able to speak with them, and they did agree to send you a new ATM. Awesome. And then it's going to take how long for traveling mailbox to send you that debit card?
They say it takes normally 2 to 3 weeks to.
2 to 3 weeks. So realistically, we're looking at a month before all this gets resolved. Now, did you have a lot of credit cards and whatnot in your
No.
wallet?
Mainly just my driver's license and my debit card.
And you have your passport, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten into the country without
That's true. That's true. So that's good. You lost your driver's license. I can think of worse things. The real headache usually begins when credit cards, and you got to call, if you're one of those with 10 of them in your wallet, you got to make all those phone calls.
I've got 3 credit cards.
Yeah.
I got too many.
Yeah. No, actually, if you got zero balance, they're good for backup, booking trips and things like that. So that's kind of where we sit right now. We're in a hurry up and wait kind of mode. I don't see any reason to involve the embassy in this because there is already a solution to the problem. What we're fighting here is 30-day timeline. But between you and Goldfinger, who's sitting to my left here, want to say hi, Goldfinger?
Hey, everybody.
I know it's killing him not to say
It's killing me
anything.
not to say a goddamn word. Come on, man.
Well, he really appreciates that you're the liaison.
Real
the
expats.
embassy.
The word you're looking for is real.
Real expats.
That's right.
Okay.
I had so much trouble not trying to correct you there.
Well, I call them the good guys.
Okay.
All right.
So you have 4 gentlemen here.
Yeah. I got 2 guests and Goldfinger. And so, anyway, this was just a quick little video that we're doing just to kind of bring you guys up to speed on what can go wrong sometimes. And I think the real moral to this story is that when Shelby found himself in times of need, there was a gentleman, a stand-up guy like Lowell, to step in and lend a hand and offer your help, your time, your treasure, your energy. And I just want to thank you for that, Lowell.
You're welcome.
And Goldfinger, thank you for contacting me.
Yeah.
And Shelby, between the 3 of us and probably a few other guys that'll see this, we'll make sure that you get through the next 30 days.
I have to
You
thank,
won't go hungry. You won't go without shelter. We'll follow through on the SIM card, and we'll stay on top of your bank. And that's really about it. I thought this was going to be a lot worse than it was. When I first walked in, I thought, boy, this is dire. This guy's got to go home. But it's good to know that you guys have found a way to work this and that your bank is working with you. And you set up the traveling mailbox was huge. So any other words of wisdom here, guys?
Well, if I can say, until he gets his debit card, which might take 3 or 4 weeks, he's trusted me enough to Zoom me $200 or $300, and then I can
Zelle.
Zelle, that's right, Zelle.
Yeah.
And then I'll pull out the $300 from my bank and give it to him in pesos.
Okay, cool. All right, great.
And I had a subscriber, Steve, that came to the bat 3 days ago,
Uh-huh.
sent me money
Uh-huh.
by Gcash
Uh-huh.
to help Shelby as well. So I just want to do a shout out for Steve.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say, as someone who's been helping Shelby, both of you have already helped him too. And so he appreciates that, I'm sure.
Well, I kind of keep that on the down low. But my wife and I have a thing about tithing every month. So we made Shelby our project this month. Usually it's Goldfinger.
Oh, I pay it forward.
But both of you are big YouTubers in Dumaguete. And so with the embassy and your bank going to get you a debit card.
So I guess the moral of this story is before you leave your home country, please set up a telephone number that's working. Make sure you've contacted your bank. Make sure you take pictures of your ID, have all that stored. Plan for the worst, always hope for the best. But losing your wallet, you know, it happens. I mean, I can't say don't lose your wallet because stuff like that happens. However, had there been a little bit of better pre-planning, maybe got the throwaway ticket while at home and not hustling in the airport, getting confused and turned around. And you're 70 years old. And
Well, I should know better.
well, no, it's not that. It's that as we get older, I'm 70, and I am much more forgetful and just easily distracted. It's just part of the getting older stuff.
Yeah,
And,
I know.
So are you looking forward to your retirement here in the Philippines?
Well, I think so.
Huh? Yeah. Where did you come from, by the way?
Minnesota.
Minnesota? You're going to love it here because there's no snow.
Yeah.
Why did you leave?
Well, things are getting so crazy back in the States right now that And the prices are going through the roof again. And
So affordability, a more calm state.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're retired. You don't want the hustle and bustle.
And what caused you to choose Dumaguete? What was it that struck you?
well, I've been here before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
When were
didn't
you
know
here?
that either. I knew you'd been to Dumaguete. Well, I won't say, but you'd been to some other
So
cities.
you've been to the Philippines prior to this trip?
Yeah, 10,
Wow.
15 times. So
No kidding.
10 or 15?
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll have to get back together once you get yourself organized here, and maybe we'll do a timeline with you and do a follow-up video. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Just kind of wanted to give you a little update on what can and possibly will happen to some folks, but more importantly, how other guys here will just step up to the pump and help out other fellow human beings. So Lowell, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bowfinger, thank you for contacting
Yes, sir.
me. And Shelby, God bless you, and may the rest of your trip and your journey and your retirement may the worst be over and the best ahead. All right, we'll see everybody in the next video.
You know, it just goes to show that not every expat here in Dumaguete misbehaves.
That's correct. All right, kids, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you, guys.